Alright, April 26, 2021 on my 1976 Cadillac Deville. And what I'm doing today is I'm pulling off the vinyl. Basically, I'm pulling the skin off. Here's the padding. Padding doesn't look to be in very good shape. And then there's rust under here, you know, so that's alright. We're gonna pull this padding up, you know, because it's rusty right here, and you can see that. So we're gonna pull this padding off. You know, we're just gonna pull the skin off and pull the skin off the top, and we're gonna take a look-see. Now right here, see that right there? Water did this, right? Water just, you know, because anytime you have a vinyl top, water gets trapped under the vinyl, and you have those molding strip here. So this is all water damage, but that's all right. We're actually gonna repair this. It's day number 7, but I don't consider this a full day at number 7, but it's the 7th day out of April that I've worked on the car, and we've pulled all the skin off. We pulled the vinyl skin off the top. This is the padding. Now where we have the rust right along here, because that's where the molding goes. So naturally you're gonna have more rust where the molding goes, because right along here is because the water gets trapped up underneath the molding, sets over a period of 40-some years. Naturally you're going to get rust because it just sits, I'm going to call it, in the pockets of the molding strip. So we know we have rust there, and then we have rust here. Now that I done pulled the skin off, see, we're going to see that right there, that big old hole there. We're going to fix that. We're going to repair that. And then we got rust all in here, so we got the rust underneath the padding here. Of course, we're going to cut this part of the padding off, so we can repair that. Now we're going to use a little common sense. You see, there's no rust here. There's no rust here. There's no rust under this aspect of the padding right here. There is no rust. So we're not going to fight about pull all the padding off to look for the rust, because the rust is right along here where the molding strip goes. This is the area along here, and right here, this is the worst side. Okay, nope, we're not going to pull this window out. Now, we're not going to do all that. What you're going to do is that you're going to see me work around this window. I'm not going to take the time to pull the window out, and we're not going to go through that. There's a right way to do it. We're not going through that. You're going to watch an alternative way to get to the same results. But again, it's up to every man's choice. Every man has a choice on how he wants to repair his vehicle and how far he wants to go with it. All right, April 29th, 2021. In the earlier part of this video tutorial, you see that I had already took the skin off. Already took the vinyl off. Alright, as you can see, it's off. Today I'm going to start cleaning the rust up that you see right here. So I got a couple spots. There's a spot here, a spot on the other side. So I'll see how far I get today. Of course, I'm not in no big hurry. I'm going to take my time so I can get the job correct. Alright, so stick around and stay tuned for that. Alright, I'm back. Oftentimes when I make my tutorials, there's discussion that I go into. You know, we go into discussion. And that discussion, one of the discussions was pulling up all of the pad to see what the rust is. And we can't separate fact from reality. You see where the rust is, exactly where I said it was. Basically, on the edge where the chrome is, not the areas where the chrome is not. As you can see, like right here where my finger is, this is obviously, there's no rust here. You can actually see the outline of the rust. You're looking right at it. So we're not going to reject what our eyes see, because sometimes people don't want to admit that they're not quite familiar or that they're incorrect. Now, I'm going to use the word incorrect. You can see where the rust is, which is right here, where the chrome piece goes. There is no rust under here. We're not going to pull this padding up to see if there's any rust under here, because chrome is not, the water is not getting under this aspect of the padding, right along the edge where the chrome is. And that's what we're going to deal with. So whenever you watch my tutorials, we're going to deal with fact and reality. Okay, I'm back. I cleaned up the area. Today is, again, April 29th. I started working on this at about 1 o'clock. So I've got to run to the paint store, get some material for another vehicle of mine I'll be working on. But as you can see exactly where the rust is. So I'm going to treat that, and then I'm going to head to the paint store, and then I'll be back to do a little more to continue. Okay, we're back, and this is what the rust looks like after you wash off. After it sets about 30 minutes, and since it rained, it did me a favor. It rained, and so the rain was my water hose to wipe the solution off. And as you can see, how it changed colors. And so I believe that what that rust inhibitor does, it seals out, it seals down the rust. I'm going to imagine it puts a coating on the rust, but it said it changes the rust to a non-corrosive metal or material. And so since it's raining, I'm going to stop for the day. Alright, this is going to end my day. I spent about 3-4 hours out here. I'm using the glazing putty to fill in some of the imperfections in the metal that was caused by the rust. I'm not using filler because I've already treated the metal with a rust inhibitor. So when the rust pits and pits the metal up, well, I've already sealed that. And the reason I'm using the putty is because this here, the padding, is going to actually come over to here, and from this nail forward, I'm going to make sure that's nice and feather edged, into the broken paint, from sanding. Alright, today is May 1st, 2021. This is the 10th day that I've worked on my 1976 Cadillac Deville project. I'm putting on a vinyl roof, and this here is the second layer of glazing putty. I've already sanded down the first layer, so I just put another second layer over it just to kind of build it up. And as you can see here, the rust is gone. We treated the metal, we grind it, we treat it. Now we put the putty on it, then we're going to prime it. And now I'm coming over here. It had a little small dent, as you can see right here. When you are in the auto body business, no, you can't use none of my tools. You can go buy your own tools. Don't lend your tools out. I don't lend my tools out, point blank period, because if I can take my money and go buy some tools, the next guy can take his money and go buy his own tools. So this here, you can hear that it's over 40 years old for this. And then what we're going to do, or what I'm going to do, today is going to be a short day. I'm going to grind all this here clean. I'm going to grind this clean here, prep this, and get ready to reconstruct this part right here. May not do it today though, but I'll get it ready. Alright, stick around for that. Okay, you see, we I sanded down the glazing putty. This area right here at the top. If you look back at the tutorial, you'll see where I went from where the rust. You saw where the rust was. I grinded the rust down, treated it, washed off the solution, put the putty on it, sand the putty down, primed it. So the next step is I'm going to take this part of the padding and then just glue it back down. And so there's no rust under here. You saw where the rust was. What you want to do is, if you got an automobile that you want restored, me personally, the best guy to restore your vehicle is a guy that's not working on 15 different cars all at one time. You find a guy and he's got a lot of vehicles that he's working on, you can best believe that your car is not going to get the attention that you would desire for it to get. Now, you see here, what I did is I had washed this off. You see how the rust inhibitor had changed this rust, and it's a nice hot day, so that means that it's sealed, and it sealed that old rust. I guess what it does is seals it and stops the oxygen, cuts off the oxygen that causes rust. And you see where it changed the color of the rust. It's a non-corrosive material. Now today I was going to shake this, yep, and sheet metal that in, but I'm going to stop today. Yes, young boys love to race. And so the guy that you're looking for to restore your vehicle, can you imagine, if I took this car to the top shop, the top shop would have had to send it over to the auto body shop to actually, re-stitch, re-sheet metal this in. Well, we're going to be honest. To re-sheet metal this in is going to take time. And a lot of body shops, production shops, are not going to take the time to re-sheet metal this in. They're just going to take something like this masking tape I got right here, or whatever, newspaper, and they're going to stuff that. Then they're going to spread body filler over it. Same with this hole. They're going to send it back, and then they're not going to treat the metal. Production shops, it costs money to treat the metal. They're not going to treat the metal. It takes time. Then they're going to take it back over to the top shop, and the top shop most likely will just throw a top over it. You're not going to know the difference because the top is going to cover it up. It's going to cover up the repair. You're not going to notice the difference. You're just going to say, oh, I got a nice top. Today is May 5th, 2021. I'm going to probably do close to a full day today. It's roughly 10:30 a.m. and this is the 12th day that I've been working on my 1996 Cadillac Coupe or Cadillac Deville. I've been under the weather for the last couple of days with a cold, but let us proceed in the completion, or the continuation rather, of installing a vinyl top. If you can recall looking at some of the earlier presentations of this video, you saw where there was rust underneath this padding. So I pulled the padding back. Just go back to some of the beginning of this video and you'll see the process of where it was, where I've come to. And I want to reiterate that the rust is usually around where the chrome is. And so you can see that when I pulled that up, you saw exactly where the rust pattern was. I cleaned up the rust pattern, sanded it, grinded it, treated it, and now I just put the padding back over it. So this part right here is complete, and then this piece of tape right here is just to hold this padding, just to kind of bring it down pretty flush with this one. Now we're getting ready to, I'm going to cut a section. You see the lines I got here. I'm going to cut this section out here, and I'm going to replace it with this padding. And let me come on over here to this side and And today I'm going to work this right here. And we're not going to waste time taking this off because chrome don't go here and the water did not spread to back here. So, you know, we're not going to pull teeth and we're not going to argue about what a person thinks and believes. We're not going to do that. Just watch and follow the tutorial. And again, these are just alternative ways to take you to the same destination as the book. Some people, all they know is the book. They consider that the right way. I consider it that's the only way that you know. And for you, it is the right way. So stick around and stay tuned. Some things you can see that don't always need to be said. You can see it. And remember, this is underneath the padding, so you're not going to see it no way. Alright, you have to excuse me, my voice is a little raspy because I have a cold. And so I just sewed this up. Did a little surgery here. As you can see. Remember how wide open these two areas were? Here, let me step back so you can kind of get a look at it. We did not remove the window. There was no need to remove the window. For what? Remember, I can't work on bronze no more. I have to work on muscle. You know, the one that sits on top of your shoulder. That muscle. You work smarter, not harder. I replaced it. I replaced that rusted out spot with the same metal that the car was made out of. 22 gauge sheet metal. The older vehicles in the 70s and 60s were made out of 22 gauge sheet metal, which is why the car is much heavier, burned up much more gasoline. Okay. And so now what I'm getting ready to do, you see that area? There's an area right in here, you see it? That wide open space there. I'm going to fill that with, technically this is Instapack. We call it the Instapack. I used to work at General Electric, and I worked in shipping, and this is the stuff we worked with whenever we were going to package material in boxes. We would put a sheet down on the material, then we would shoot this. It wasn't out of a can, but it was out of a big gun. And we called it the Instapack. And it provided you with the sealant, cushion, so the part didn't get destroyed in shipping. Well, I'm going to shoot something down here, and I'm using it more so as water. Before I go to eat, I want to make this one last point. I want you to think about what I'm getting ready to say. When you take your car in to have a top put on, the top shop usually has some affiliation with a body shop because the top shop knows that there's a lot of rust up underneath those vinyl tops. Well, when the top shop calls you and tells you that, you know, there's some body work that needs to be done, I want you to really think about it. A body shop is a production shop. And they're not going to have time to go find the same metal that your car was made out of. They're not going to have time to sew in sheet metal. When you had a lot of holes, you know, you saw some of those holes that had rotted out. What a lot of shops are going to do, because remember, shops work on production. Production is time. Production is money. And they can't sit and babysit your job the way you would like it. But you're not going to know the difference. So I can tell you what some shops would have did. They would have stuffed anything they can get into those holes, and they would have put body filler over it. You wasn't going to know the difference. All you know is that when you pick your car up, you got a brand new top on it. But you're not going to know what's underneath. It's still going to take a little while for the water to get up under there and actually just saturate that paper, break the body filler apart, because the body filler is not anchored against something sturdy. But you're not going to know that. But let's just think for a minute. A production shop is not going to have time to do what you see me doing here, because it's time consuming, it's very costly as far as time. Not costly in material, but costly in time. And they don't have time to babysit your job. Your job comes in the front door, and they want to get it back to you as soon as possible. And when you get it back, you're going to be smiling. but I can guarantee you, they're not, chances are a lot of shops are not going to do this. They're not going to do this. So I just want to leave you with that, and I want to leave the guys who say the right way. You know, I love it when guys say there's a right way. And what I guarantee you, when you take it and when you take it to a shop, they're not going to do it the right way. All right. I'll see you after I get through